Picking up on what we looked at in the last tutorial, in this brief tutorial, I'm going to suggest a possible workflow when starting a video project here within Premiere Pro. Now, as indicated in the last tutorial, I tend to collect together the various project assets and place them in relevantly named, conveniently and centrally located individual project folders. I think this is the best method because, as seen in the last tutorial, if for some reason we inadvertently move or rename an asset, we can manually look for the offline or missing project asset quite easily because we only have to relocate the asset from the relevant folder. And we know because we're going to use the same structure where these particular folders will be. By contrast, if your assets were spread quite erratically over multiple folders in various locations, it's not easy to search out and relink by locating. Having a structured method like this means it's easy to look in relevant subfolders within your main project file. So, and this is only my suggestion, create an individual project folder with relevant subfolders such as audio, video, illustrations, photographs, etc. within it. And then it's up to you, of course, to name your subfolders how you see fit. But I strongly suggest that you stick to your naming convention for each Premiere Pro project. Another suggestion you might want to incorporate is to rename all your assets if they have esoteric and confusingly unhelpful existing names. You'll know already that when you import video or still imagery from a digital video or stills camera, the naming structure of each file is often an unhelpful and vaguely non-descriptive number. This doesn't help you identify what the video clip is, for example. So, and this is essential for large projects, rename the assets appropriately. For example, rather than a video clip being called 0630, rename it to what it actually is of. For example, View Across Fields number 1. Although not totally informative, it does give you a little more clue as to what the clip is of. That all said, as we progress, you'll see that Premiere Pro does contain a thumbnail preview mode once you select a file. But if you have 50 plus clips, for example, it's better, I think, to have a convenient and informative naming structure simply for alacrity's sake. You can, of course, manually work your way through all your numerically named video clips one by one and rename them, but if you want to speed up the process, it's probably worth batch renaming within Adobe's Lightroom 5 or Adobe's Bridge. These programs accelerate the renaming process because you can do it in batches of similar clips. For example, if you've got quite a number of different clips of pretty much the same view, then you could have View Across Field number 1, number 2, number 3, etc. etc. By the way, if you capture your video clips from digital tape, then by using Premiere Pro CC, you do get the ability to determine the name as the clips are imported. You'll be able to set this up so that you can rename on import, or if not rename, at least name appropriately. Now, something else to consider is optimizing photographs and audio prior to importing into a project. Even though Premiere Pro does offer opportunities to optimize audio and photographs from within the program, I think it's often better, or at least quicker, to have this done prior to the project start. For example, optimize your audio files by trimming them to the correct length, i.e. getting rid of dead air at the beginning or at the end, or even part the way through. You could also normalize to adjust the volume levels, or even compress or declick any problematic audio. Use a program such as Adobe's Audition to be able to do this. By the same token, you can use Adobe's Photoshop to clean up problematic photographs. I.e., you might have poor exposure, there might be some dust or dirt captured on the lens. Well, by sorting all that out prior to starting a project within Adobe's Photoshop, we'll save a lot of time later on. So, as you can see, it's worth doing all this and also renaming the files appropriately and intelligently prior to project start, so that your work within Premiere Pro is all the more enjoyable and easy.